From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here. I'm the founder, CEO, and chief creator of Amazing Ideas and Stunning Digital Marketing. In today's podcast, I have Alfredo Borodowski with me. He's a positivity expert and a resiliency expert. And we're going to talk all about positivity and resiliency today. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. The SDM Show is brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, the digital marketing concierge that helps you put all your marketing pieces together. We are your marketing experts. We are also your WordPress security experts and know how to lock down a website and protect yourself from bad actors. So contact us at Stunning Digital Marketing today. Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here. And today on the SDM Show podcast, I have Alfredo Borodowski. How's that? Is that not too bad, Alfredo?
That's great. Target. On target.
On target. Those who don't know, I don't like last names being mispronounced if I could possibly avoid it. I hate when mine is mispronounced, and that happens all the time. So thank you for being so gracious. You are a positive resiliency expert. You're working on a book. Well, more interesting, how did you get into this interesting field? Like, what brought you here? What's your journey?
Well, I never expected to become an expert on positive psychology. I think many people get the best out of life with what they don't plan. And this was not planned by me. I was, on my former life, a rabbi.
Okay, that's interesting.
A spiritual leader. And actually, I was a rabbi of one of the largest and most prestigious congregations in the States. I had, as my congregants, leaders, CEOs of Prime Media, MetLife, top CEOs, and I had half of Wall Street as my congregants, and I have senior partners of the leading Manhattan law firms, and I was on top of the world. I have an office facing Central Park. I would go every morning, have a coffee, put my feet on my desk, and watch, Central Park from my window, coming from Argentina, middle class, low middle class. I made it, and I made it big. I couldn't believe it. I was living a dream until I lost everything in 10 minutes. That was on June 19th, 2013, when I was arrested.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I was arrested for impersonating a police officer. What happened to me is that the congregant gave me, a few months before, one of those, a policeman, congregant, a detective, one of those shields, friends and family shields. Now, this was a big one, because usually the police gives you like a card. He gave me a copy of the shield. And I was manic. I was suffering from mania. I went to my psychiatrist and I told him that I was depressed because, manic people like to protect their superpowers and energy of mania. Then I was holding a badge, having mania, and my doctor gave me an antidepressant. And with all that, Robert, I began patrolling the streets of New York, highways, and telling people how to drive and identify myself as the police. Until one morning, a lady was around 20 years old. I showed her the badge. She made a phone call. And a minute later, I had 3 patrol cars behind me, and I was arrested. Later on, when I knew her name, because she had a restraining order against me, and I Googled her, I looked at her picture, and she was getting married. And I looked at the fiancé, and I fell off the chair. It was a policeman that arrested me. Then the press, being that I was a prestigious rabbi from Westchester, made a circus out of me, and they called me the road rage rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
And it went viral from front pages from Japan to Ireland.
Wow.
And I have 4 cases against me, and I went into the deepest depression.
Mm.
And for 8 months, Robert, I was on a couch in obscurity until one day I felt an energy pushing me out of the couch and pulling me upstairs to my study. And I went up, and on my desk, I found something that I do not recall how it got there. I found a yellow folder. I opened it, and I found the results of a test on positive psychology I had taken a few years before. I had a look at my top 5 strengths: creativity, love of learning, curiosity, perseverance, and courage.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to school and became a social worker.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and it flourished. And by the way, in all this, I was diagnosed bipolar when I was hospitalized, which I didn't know. It was a big revelation to me. The best thing that ever happened to me, because for the last 10 years, I had no symptoms because it's completely manageable for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, look for knowing my top 5 strengths had done for me. It saved my life. I had to go through the world now.
Yeah.
Giving people the gift of knowing their top 5 strengths of positive psychology is a game changer. That's how I made it to this.
That's pretty incredible when you think about it. And one of the most compelling journeys I've heard on this show. I'll say that for sure.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you so
and
much.
what I would add to it is what some of that tells us is, and you were talking about your journey with depression and all that. We really got to take care of ourselves, and we got to take care of our mental health, and we got to. Those who have listened to this show know I'm a big mental health advocate. I have talked about my own issues. I've been in and out of therapists for years just because I believe you have to take care of the brain as much as you take care of the body. Um, my partner and I, which I will not divulge what happened, got into some issues, and we were smart and went and saw a therapist together because of, things going on. The point I'm making is you got to take care of yourself. And that doesn't mean just the arm, the neck, the knee, the heart. It means the head as well. Correct?
Absolutely. And yes, I mean, the highest interest that you can have for somebody is the self. And that's not
Yeah.
egotistic. You're not
Yeah.
okay, you're not going to be okay for others.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. And I think what you're doing, working on positive resiliency, is a lot along that same line, just an extension of it, right? You're just kind of
Yes.
you're saying, and I love how you frame that positive. We start off on the right foot. Too many people go in today's world and they get up every morning. This is going to be a bad day. This is not going to work out. This meeting is going to be awful. I don't know what to do. The glass is half empty. That's the problem, isn't it, Alfredo?
No, I mean, you're going to have, reality begins inside.
Yep.
Okay. Then basically we manifest what we think. And people think that what happens to them needs to occur from the outside to transform the inside.
Yeah.
I don't understand that they have the power to first envision internally what they want and make it happen. Olympic athletes, before they go to the event, they sit down and visualize
Yeah, they do.
what they are going to accomplish. Okay, if Olympic athletes know that, okay, they are the best at what they do, then if you are going to begin your day or go to an interview or go to a date thinking this is not going to be okay, I promise you it will not be okay. Okay,
Yeah.
it will not. Okay, and then mental preparation is the key. You know, the brain sees what you decide the brain to see. There is a filter. There is a system in the brain by which the brain selects, because we cannot look at all the information that bombards us at the same time. The brain is not capable, so many things happening. Then the brain acts according to the command you give the brain of what to pay attention. I'm going to tell you something so interesting. You know, was a study, you know, positive psychology is a science.
Yeah.
Then there are a lot of scientific experiment. Was a science experiment by Wasserman in Stanford, who wanted to see why some people are lucky and why some people are unlucky. And those who are listening, I will tell you what distinguishes a lucky and unlucky person. Then Wasserman took a group of people and asked them, do you feel lucky or unlucky? And divided them in these two groups and gave them, to each one of them, the same newspaper.
Yes.
And they said, count how many pictures are in the newspaper. The lucky people counted the picture in 2 seconds. And the unlucky person counted the picture in 3 minutes. What was the difference? When you open the newspaper, on the second page was a big sign that said, stop counting, there are 49 pictures.
Okay.
The lucky people saw it, the unlucky people didn't see it. Now, Wasserman was shocked. Then he repeated the experiment and he wrote, stop reading, there are 49 pictures, and you stop reading, you're going to get $250.
Okay.
The lucky people got to 50, the lucky people kept counting. You see, the unlucky people did not have the eye to look for opportunities. They already determined themselves that they were not going to win, and they lost. What is the same newspaper, the same pictures, is what reality you see. And the way they characterize themselves determine the destiny. Okay, that's an amazing experiment that you are going to wake up in the morning saying, I am unlucky, you're going to miss the big pictures in life that tell you how to get ahead.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is all how you frame it. And that's what we're talking about in a sense, right? Is how you frame what you're looking at. So personal story. A lot of people say, I wish I won the lottery. We all hear that, right? We'd all like to be rich and millionaires and billionaires. And I always say to people, I already did. And they say, what do you mean you already did? You're not rich. I do well, but I'm not rich. And I said, I already did. I met the best woman on the face of the earth. I won the lottery a long time ago, 3 years ago. And people laugh at me and say, it's all how you frame it. And it's all what you're looking for. And people don't understand that. Jumping in the
But
positive.
that's good. That's good. Let me just say something about that.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
This is called in positive psychology explanatory style. We have a term for this. Everybody has an explanatory style, which is how you write in your mind the history of your life. And there are some people who write tragically and people who write romance. And now, look, the only difference was what you said, I have also the most wonderful wife and the most wonderful kids, but I also want to win the lottery.
Yes. That's great.
I also want to win the lottery. Okay, money is good. And anybody who's listening and is playing the game that money is not good and money is not happiness, well, I play in a different team. Money makes life very comfortable.
Yes.
Okay.
No
Money solves a lot of problems. Now, too much money can become a problem. And most people who win the lottery 6 months later they lose everything they win because
Yeah.
they go into excess and they don't know who to invest and they are taken advantage of.
Yep.
But I wish I win the lottery, okay, and I will treat my most fantastic wife to the pleasures of life.
Yeah. That's different. Money is a device to get to an end goal. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I think a lot of problem when we get into this whole thing about positive resiliency, and before we dive into what makes it, I hate to say it, is what I call learned behavior, how you were brought up, and how the past in your life shaped you. And I really mean that. I think a lot of it is if you came out of a family upbringing where people aren't the most positive people on the face of the earth, it's hard for you to be positive. Wouldn't you agree to that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. This is called the origin story.
Yeah.
Everybody has an origin story. The origin story is the moment of series of moments that
Mm-hmm.
more decisively shape the way you make decisions.
Yeah.
And usually your origin story is going to create what we call a default modality by which you make decisions without knowing based on the fears of rejection, of trauma, pain that you kind of regress when you have to make decisions.
Yep.
That's why when you do coaching, by the way, it is always important to dedicate a session to exploring the origin story. Okay,
Yeah.
and the explanatory style, the way you tell your life to yourself, is going to be based on the origin story. Now, the origin story usually consolidates in between the ages of 15 and 20.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Then for many people is decades ago. It kind of happened to them, but didn't, and is operating beneath the surface, and they make decisions and they sometimes say, I don't know why he did it. And sometimes they regret it because the origin story is operating without them having control of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then yes, I work very hard with people. There is sometimes a lot of resistance and a lot of pain, but we explore the origin story, which is the foundation of how you make decisions today.
Yeah, I would agree. Um, what are the components of what you consider positive resiliency?
You know, I mentioned that I discovered my top, I read my top 5 strengths,
You did.
changed my life. Studies show that in the United States, 70% of people are unaware of the top strengths.
Wow.
Okay, which means we are an epidemic of blindness of strengths.
Yeah.
It's alarming. And it makes me so mad because we already have the strengths. It's just that we don't explore them. We don't bring them to surface. Even more, Robert, if you know your strengths, your capacity to flourish increases 9 times just
Yeah.
by knowing it. If you apply them 18 times,
Okay.
okay, then likely operating 9 times to 18 times below what they are capable,
Okay.
with no investment more than knowing their own strengths.
Hmm.
Then, people ask me, what do you do at corporations? What do you do with coaching? I call myself an optometrist.
I love that.
That's what I add. I open my eyes, the eyes of people to strengths.
Yeah.
That's a game changer. They call me to corporations. My team does not feel motivated.
Yeah.
Okay. In 2 hours, everybody get their strengths. We have a strengths team assessment, and you will see in 2 hours a tremendous change of attitude. Then there is a plan to sustain it and develop it.
Mm.
But even with that 2 hours of workshop, already there is a radical change. Like people really, I didn't know that was my top strength. That is your top strength. Wow, I didn't realize it.
Yeah. That's interesting. Would a good exercise be for anybody watching, listening, to take a piece of paper out and write down what you're really good at? Would that be worth it?
No, I give you a better one.
Okay.
If people, because positive psychology has 24 strengths.
Okay.
Okay, they're called character strengths. There are 24 well-researched, which a team in 1999, a team of the best psychologists and anthropologists and religious people, philosophers, they all sat down for 2 years to explore the top strengths of humanity.
Okay.
And they came up with 24, which are repeated throughout history and in geography and cultures, which are the backbone of character strengths.
Yeah.
Then it has to be those 24. Okay, there are many more, clearly, strengths, but these 24 are really the core. Then to sit down and just think about it you will not know what to think about it. You don't know the 24. Then if people listening take their phone now, just take your phone, give you a second. Go to your texting and text the word positive, positive psychology, positive, to 33777. Very simple. Positive to 33777. I will send you a chart with the 24 character strengths of positive psychology. 3 simple questions for you to determine the top 5.
Yeah.
And 3 exercises you want to develop it.
Wow.
Because I told you, my quest in life is that everybody should own the top 5 strengths, and we need to end blindness of strengths. Then if one person who is listening go to positive 33777 and get the chart and determine the 5 strengths, it's going to change their life, and I'm going to be fulfilled myself.
And once you have those 5 strengths, what do you do with them? Like, does the exercise end there, or where do you go from there?
No, I am bringing, part of what I'm going to send you are 3 exercises by which you use them.
Okay.
Okay, but look, my top ones were creativity, love of learning, curiosity.
Yeah.
And I was in a crisis. It is completely logical that I went out of the crisis by going back to the university, because it's creativity, love of learning, and curiosity. Then I leverage them on an activity that fits and aligns with my strengths, and that would took me out of depression. Then once you know your top strengths, you're going to begin aligning. The key is to align what you decide to do with your top strengths. If you look for that alignment, you're going to soar. That's the question.
Yeah, I get that. Now, we're in a tough world right now. We've got political messes everywhere, right? And in the U.S. Don't even want to turn this into a political podcast, not the intent, but we have
you're not going to get me there anyway.
Oh, what a shame. That could be fun. No, I'm not going to get you there because I don't want to be there. We've got all kinds of technological advancements, including those 2 dreaded words, AI, or 2 dreaded letters. It's harder with all this intervention to do this stuff now than I think ever before, right?
You can't believe the studies that are coming out of the increase of anxiety and depression and uncertainty in the workplace through AI.
Yeah.
Now, I am pro-technology and pro-AI. I think that is going to bring us to levels of creativity and advancement and health and wisdom like never before. Then I am pro. Now, what also we know today that there is an effect called the techno stress. It's a new terminology, very well researched, okay, on what is the cost of AI. And, I am publishing a book in January. Okay, I just finished it, the final draft, actually, this week. And the title is The Human Upgrade.
Yeah.
The new leadership, the new leadership for peak performance in the AI revolution. Wow. And it's going to be published by the John Maxwell House. John Maxwell, the top leader, leadership, and I am so blessed that it's going to be done through his publishing. And what I explore in that book is the application of positive psychology tools to make sure that you go through the AI transition at organizations without the human cost. That's why it's called the human upgrade. It's possible, but what corporations are doing are bringing technology, thinking that technology is going to solve by itself the human necessity. No way.
No way, no how.
The other way around. Then corporations need to have a human plan alongside the technological plan. They are not doing it. Okay, then they call me. People don't feel motivated. People feel paralyzed, have fear. Okay, why? Because technology is a cultural change. It's not really. Okay. Then you need to take care of culture, and that's what I am doing at the book. And I think that, I've been researching this. I think that is the only book, to my knowledge, that is using the best of positive psychology directly on the issue of the human cost on AI.
Yeah.
And I am so excited about it. I mean, and it be very well received with the people I'm talking on the technology sector. They said, we need a book like this, and I'm super excited about it.
Having spent most of my career in technology, first on the programming side, then on the support side in healthcare, before I even opened up my own digital agency, I would say, the world needs a book like this. I think people need to realize the human and AI can coexist. It's just how to do it properly.
So the mistake that I see is that every scientific revolution brought fear.
Yeah.
When the printing press came, the religious leader and the elite said, the common people are going to have too much knowledge. They're going to rebel against us. The same, with the Industrial Revolution, with the steam engine, with electricity, with internet, all those came to replace or to increase human action, human labor. AI is different. AI is infringing in our humanity. It can create poetry. It can mimic our voice. It can write a song. Then it's a different ballgame. It's not anymore about what we can do. AI is a threat of who we are. It's a deeper and more existential kind of threat. I think that we are going to do okay, by the way. I am not losing sleep over we are going to cease to be. I think we're going to accommodate and adjust. But the challenge is absolutely different at the philosophical, spiritual, and cultural angles. And I don't think that anybody is talking in this way. Okay, they're missing the challenge.
Yeah, I agree.
And they are missing the challenge. They are not. If they are missing the challenge, they are not bringing the solution.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And one of the things I love, Alfredo, is you always mention in the last 5 sentences or 6 sentences, you keep coming back to the culture. And I think that's really important. We cannot, no matter what we do, sacrifice our cultures. I think that's really important. I think that's wholehearted. And I think we got to keep working on that, to be honest with you, no matter where you live.
Then people ask me, can you define leadership? I work on leadership all the time. My very clear. A good leader on narrative. The leader is the one who make a myth in the good sense of the word. A myth where people working in the company feel they are in a quest for something great. That's why, by the way, in this book that I just wrote, the last chapter is a very practical chapter on how to write for leaders the cultural myth of the company, step by step. That's my final chapter, step by step to write the cultural myth of your company that is going to bring you forward, resilient, no matter the changes you do in technology.
Yeah. It's funny. Many companies, you walk in and they have a mission statement up on the wall, right? We've all seen that. Healthcare, certainly, they put it in the elevators, they put it everywhere. But the problem is they write those statements without understanding the culture of their organization. And how can you write a mission statement if you don't understand the culture?
There is something even more. They confuse mission, vision, and purpose.
Yes.
Okay, mission and vision are where you want to get. Okay, purpose is the reason and the why you want to get there. Okay, and that's basically what created the company, the illusions, the dreams, the good intentions of the founders, that it got lost when things become bureaucratic and entangled in all the problems of having an organization. Then I tell you, there's a new instrument out there. It's called the purpose factor. It's a few months old. The purpose factor is the best instrument today out there, and maybe the only one, to measure and map the purpose of a company and a person. It's a comprehensive instrument. You take it and give you 49 pages of what your purpose is. Revolutionary. And Robert, I am among the founder license providers of the instrument. I am one of the first 100 people who have been licensed on that instrument. And when I go to companies now, I always say you have to do two things. You have to do a workshop on character strengths. Every person and every team needs to know the top 5 strengths. Another workshop on purpose. Every person should know their purpose and the purpose of the company.
I agree.
Purpose is the number one motivator, resilience maker, goal-oriented component of a company. Is the most neglected, unknown, and confused with vision and mission.
Okay. I listened to you talk about that and how you do it. And I think if you had all these components together and say you were working on a big project, by knowing what people's strengths are and the culture and everything else, you could probably put together a better project team to get that project done than if you didn't go through these exercises, right?
Day and night. I have an equation that I came up with after working so many years. Is positivity plus psychological capital plus purpose equal peak performance. Then you begin positivity, which are the character strengths. You continue with psychological capital, which is made of 4 components. We know we are the more efficient, which is confidence, hope, optimism, and resilience. Then you go into purpose. You put those 3 components together, you get to peak performance. Clear journey. 1, 2, 3, peak performance, and it doesn't take 2 or 3 years. Okay.
How long should something like this take?
Because you go into the workshop on strengths. It's a 2-hour workshop. then you have immediately begin to practice. Then you go into a workshop on purpose. It's another 2-hour workshop. Okay. I give you a plan on psychological capital. Okay. Then in no time, you begin the process.
Yeah.
Because remember, the people have the strengths already. What happens is they don't know them. Okay. Then they have, the company has a purpose that has been lost, has to rediscover it and readjust it. This is more about adjustment and alignment than creating a wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's why I call the optometrist. When they put you the glasses, you don't have to change the reality. You see better. Okay. Then people are amazed in some way how easy and effective. Clearly, you have toxic cultures. You have to deal with that. There are bad habits. There are bad habits. You have to deal with that. Okay, not all companies are the same. Then there are bad habits. There are management styles. I work a lot with management, how to, positive to negative management, shifting from culture of fixing to culture of nourishing. That's a basic principle. Okay, shifting from culture of fixing to culture of nourishing. And there are a lot of strategies to get that done.
What I would say is, so I go through this exercise today. I do the 2-hour workshop. I've got my 5 strengths, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shouldn't I revisit that workshop in a couple of years to see if those strengths changed or are indifferent, or are they fixed?
A couple of things. First of all, you don't have to go to a 2-hour workshop. Remember, people listening can go to positive 33777. But
you do the work. Yes.
Yes. But no. I mean, sure, you revisit them. You have to have a plan of developing and applying. Okay. That's what's fantastic about it. You can always develop it. What I do, what we know now from research, that it's good also to spend a little bit of time trying to increase one of the strengths which are at the bottom of your list.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you get great satisfaction on improving what is not your most preferred strength. Then I work also on that. But yes, it is a life journey of committing to your excellence by applying your strength. Because that's the result, excellence. I don't like perfection, by the way. That's a terrible word. Nobody's perfect. But
except you and I. Yeah, you're right.
No, but everybody can aspire to excellence. I'm laughing because there are no other people in the world who feel themselves to be more perfect than Argentines. I am from Argentina. They make all kinds of jokes.
I've heard that. Yes,
they make all kinds of jokes in South America about what is definition of ego? The little Argentine you have inside.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's one of the jokes. Then you remind me when you were saying that of my Argentinian roots. But excellent is what we're looking for.
Yeah, because we all have room for improvement. You and I do every day. We do stuff, and if we were perfect, honestly, life would be boring. We all have room for improvement.
For improvement. If there wouldn't be room for improvement, I quit.
Yeah, I agree. I got to tell you, this book, when it comes out in January, will be probably one of my first couple books I read in a new year. So that's the first thing. I mean that wholeheartedly. I'm big on the personal journey. I think you gathered that by now. And
yes,
I'm forever reading personal improvements. I'm a personal journey junkie. So I'll share with you. Our therapist always says to me, "What are you reading today, Rob?" Because I've always got something on the go. So it's funny. I've always got a
My
personal
therapist,
book.
my therapist says, "What are you reading today? In which room of the house?" Because I am reading
Yeah,
one book in the bathroom, one book in my
yeah,
on my bed, one book
yeah.
on my. I have like
I
a different book every room of the house.
I get it. And I always say I'm reading a personal book. I've usually got a fiction book on the go. So a business book, a fiction book, and then I have a personal development book on the go of some sort. And this kind of falls into that. And I am still to this day, I'm 58, I'm a little younger than you, but that's okay. Age is only a number. And I'll tell you, I'm still a book a week guy. For years and years, even with all this technology, I still read one book a week, whether
Wow.
and that's the way I function. So I can see this being like I would encourage anybody who wants to figure out this. I would be buying this book like wholeheartedly in January. There'd be without a question.
The you know you're going to ask me something, but I say it now. I have a website.
Yeah,
Okay,
I am
and
gonna
the
ask you.
website is what else? Yeah, I tell you now. But because it goes well with what you're saying. What else? Positive is my
Mhm.
website. Positive AB for alfredoborodowski.com.
.com.
Positiveab.com. There you have all my workshops and you have all my keynotes,
Yeah.
everything. But also, you're going to get the announcement of the book when the book comes
Mhm.
out, and I know that it's going to be pre-sale, where I'm going
Yeah.
to just give it away on Kindle
Mhm.
for 99 cents,
Yeah.
okay, for 10 days, okay,
And what
just
and
to
what I,
spread the
what I
word.
word and what I would tell anybody, having worked with enough authors, the reason authors do that, dirty little secret, is it pushes it up in the Kindle rankings, and then people go out and buy the book. Right? I mean, that's part of it.
Yes,
It's a
look,
marketing
clearly
campaign.
just these are all strategies.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, I see a real problem. As I told you, I'm really upset that people don't know the strengths. I mean,
yeah,
because it's the long hanging fruit of you have them,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I live my life with this kind of promise that one person a day I will
yeah,
give them the strengths.
yeah,
Okay, I'm not going to make money out of books. I mean,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I mean, and the amount of time I put on the book and the research,
Oh, I know.
I really, the book brings the latest research, real research on positive psychology. I have basically, for the last 6 months, read every academic journal on the latest on positive psychology of work and translated it into a language that everybody can
Mm.
understand and application. Every
Yeah,
chapter at the end has workshops. You asked me about how to do it, how to maintain things. Every chapter at the end has workshops that a manager or a leader can do with a team
mm,
independently from me or any other consultant,
yeah.
step by step. 40 minutes long workshops on every point I make.
That's awesome. That's absolutely amazing. I mean, that alone is worth the book,
Thank
let
you.
alone all the amazing content in it. So, um, I take it with what you do for CEOs and companies, you still do one-on-ones as well, Alfredo, where
Yes,
you
I love
go
it
in.
because I can go deep. I
Yeah.
can go deep and establish a relationship, friendships that last. I'm going to Argentina in November to work, and I'm going to Chile. I do a lot of work in Chile, and I can tell you half of my time are booked on coffee
Hmm.
with people who were my clients,
Yeah.
who want just to tune up, but more of a kind of how you doing, friendly relationship, how's your family. I never coach somebody, and when the coaching is done, I said, okay, don't bother me again.
Yeah.
Okay, I get to care about the person.
Yeah,
It's a
because you
lifelong,
care about
lifelong
you
relationship.
you care about the relationship.
No,
And to
it's a
me,
lifelong relationship.
relationships are the most powerful thing, one of the most powerful things in the world. Is that relationship you build?
The only thing in the world.
No question. Alfredo, this chat has been amazing. I wish you well with the book. I hope it goes well. I wish you much success. I mean, this, as I say, I would be jumping. If I could buy it now, I would have bought it already. So I've been known to do that. I've done.
My
it.
website, and those who go to positive 337777 has also a calendar with no strings attached for those who want to have a one-on-one 30 minutes to get to know each other, okay, to ask deeper questions. That's also available, okay. I have clearly limited number of hours, but it's there for those who want to jump in.
That's awesome. My friend, I hope when you release the book, we get you back. I'd love to have you back to talk about the book after release or during release. It would be amazing. And I wish you well.
Promise.
And you have yourself a wonderful day. And thank you for sharing your story and this most amazing discussion.
Thank you, Robert. Look, you have an incredible show, and thank you for your questions. And look, for those listening, be strong. I mean, be strong doesn't mean it's not a wish. You have the strengths. Just get them. I'm there for you.
Thank you, Alfredo. Have a great day.
Bye.
This podcast has been brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, your digital marketing concierge to help the business owner put all his pieces together, whether it's email marketing, WordPress security, WordPress design and development, PPC, and more. Text Stunning Digital Marketing for all your digital marketing needs today. Very special thank you to Alfredo for joining me on this edition of the SDM Show. The SDM Show is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much every day. My mother, Ann Cairns, who's still doing really well and is an inspiration. And of course, Tiz Maroney. And Tiz, I know I've said it, but thank you so much for all the inspiration you give me every day.